Today we're going to be reacting to more fat liberation TikToks. And again, like I said in the first video, I'm all about the body positivity. If you're happy with your body the way that it is and you enjoy your life and everything is good for you, then that's great. You're doing better than 90% of the people in the world. It's the people that are trying to make excuses for their weight and trying to justify it being okay in one way or another. Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being fat, okay? There are consequences to that, whether it be, health consequences, social consequences. There's things that go along with it. Same thing, like I always compare it to smoking, right? Everybody knows that smoking's unhealthy. People still choose to do it anyway. There's people that don't want to hang out with smokers, just like there's people that don't want to date fat people, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's preferences, right? So just stop trying to get everybody else to go along with your beliefs.
Look, I am a proud fat woman, period. We live in a fattest society that expects, especially of women, certain things, especially around their weight, and it's bullshit. I always say I read fat as a feminist issue. Halfway through I got bored and ate it. Fat is not ugly. In fact, it's quite beautiful.
Why is there so much anger and hostility? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. Like, these people that want to talk about body positivity, right? Positivity and how good it is and happy it is and all this shit. Like, you're talking about body positivity with fucking anger and hostility. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the other video that we did, there was some girl, she was like dancing and singing some song about being fat and happy. And I was like, all right, like, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have much of a bad reaction to that one because that's fine. Like, if you're legitimately fat and happy, like, there's people that legitimately love food and they like good food. They like quality food that's, done well. They're overweight because that's part of what they like. That's fine. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's not what I want to do. And I don't personally like get it. You know what I'm saying? I like good food, but it's not like a hobby to me. But I know I don't understand that. You know, I'm not saying I'm better or worse than anybody that does. What I'm saying is there are people that are legitimately overweight and happy with their life. Then there's people like this that are like fucking angry and just immediately going for a fight for, like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I don't know.
I would like to talk very quick about something that annoys me, and I'm going to call
Okay.
it thin-splaining. It's the idea that fat people, like, have no idea how to be thin, and that's why we're fat. So or like, that we just don't understand health, and that's why we are the way that we are. So they want to add their tips, saying that it's not appropriate to talk to your loved ones about their body or their weight gain or loss. And some people are like, what if I want to talk to my partner about it because health risks run in their family? It's their family. Who told you about the health risks? Do you think they don't know? Why do you need to talk to them about it? I made a video where I said you can decline getting your weight taken at the doctor's office, and so many people jumped in to say, unless you have anesthesia, unless you're getting a prescription for medication, unless it's this, unless it's that. And I'm like, fat people know when it's medically necessary. Stop. I made a video saying that there are no diseases exclusive to fat people, which there are absolutely not. And people want to say, it can actually be a risk factor for other diseases. Like we don't already know. People have literally been saying this shit to me since I was 7 years old. I know. I don't need your helpful input.
So, to be fair, this lady is not saying a whole lot different than what I use as my disclaimer for this video, saying that, people, they're not unaware of the risks. Like, yeah, man. So, like, she's saying it in a much more annoying way, which is whatever. I probably annoy people constantly, so that's fine. So yeah, the family part. So that's the part I do have to disagree with. Like, I mean, I guess it would be a case by case basis, right? So first, let's talk about family. So what I'm talking about is like parents, siblings, shit like that. Outside of that, like aunts, uncles, cousins, in my opinion, that's not your fucking business. But maybe I have a different family dynamic than some people. But like, if it's close family and someone is overweight to a point where it is a risk, or you see like their behaviors are going a certain way, or you see like, you know, if people are depression, anxiety, shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna be a fucking factor, man. Like, if like, I don't want to get too deep into it because it's just a fun reaction video. We'll save this for like a different thing. But real quick, if someone is, let's say they're gaining weight, right? And they're developing depression, right? You notice things like that. Is that necessarily a direct correlation? Are they, you know, necessarily depressed because they're overweight? Not necessarily directly, but like that's gonna have an issue. I mean, I've talked about depression in a bunch of different things in a bunch of different ways, but when you're not living up to your full potential, or even like a good potential in a number of different ways, why wouldn't you be depressed? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a signal telling yourself to change. Now, moving back to what she was saying, like your spouse. Well, if you want to talk about spouse because health risks on their family, well, that's their family. Motherfucker, that's your family. They're your spouse. That's your family. You know what I'm saying? And that's a thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like, in that type of relationship, when you get married, that becomes your family. Your parents and your siblings then are your extended family. Okay? So I don't know if the chick's married or not. I don't want to say hopefully she's not, because I don't mean it in a mean way, but like, she doesn't get it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, hopefully not, because if she doesn't understand that her spouse is her fucking family, and they have a right to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they want them to be around, if you want your wife to be around, fucking say something. You know what I mean? Like, it. I don't understand why wanting more for somebody and wanting better for somebody and wanting someone to be healthier, better in any fucking way has become a bad thing in today's society and culture. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But it is what it is.
Would only drink water.
When you were eating grapes and lettuce, were you thin?
I was the thinnest I could be.
Were you still big though?
I was still big, but that was the skinniest I've ever been. And that's coming from somebody who was only eating somewhat salads that are just fruit and lettuce and water and maybe ice right before a practice.
I'm sorry, but this is just not true. It's not true that you were only eating grapes and lettuce and water, and yet you were still just overweight because you can't control it. No, it's calories in, it's calories out. If you don't eat enough, you absolutely will lose weight. The logic that you're suggesting would actually imply that were you to stop eating entirely, you would never starve to death. You would be an immortal human that does not require food for sustenance. Color me skeptical of that one.
That's not good either. You know what I'm saying? Like, grapes and salad and water, like that's not sustainable nutrition. So yeah, what she said, she was the thinnest that she's ever been, or the thinnest that she could be, which that's not true. But I understand feeling that way, because if she lost weight and felt like she was gonna die, because she fucking was, if you're eating grapes and salad and water and that's it, I can understand how someone will get to a point where they feel like that's the thinnest they can be. And then this motherfucker that's saying, oh no, you're lying. No, bro, she didn't say she didn't lose weight. She said she was still big. She lost weight, but she was still big. So she had a ways to go, right? And I forget the dude's name, but as far as like, you know, going without food, the record for the longest fast was, it was over a year. It was just over a year. It was like 367 days or 370 days. It was like more than 365. It was just over a year. Dude did not eat for just over a year, and he lost like 200 pounds. But he also weighed like close to 500 pounds when he started the whole thing. And I mean, that's just a whole nother thing. So you can, I'm not saying that's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? That's not healthy. There's no way I'm suggesting that. But so this is a good point though. Like, this is actually interesting. This video followed the last one, where I think it was the last one. Maybe it was one of the other ones. But and one of the ladies was talking about people think that overweight people are overweight just because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to be thin. This lady doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So there are people that legitimately they're overweight. They know what they could do. I have one of my followers that comments on my stuff a lot. She's a real cool girl. She's overweight, and she knows that. She knows that she could change that, and she has a great attitude. I've told her many times that I really like her a lot because she's happy with the way she is. She knows she could change if she wanted to. She doesn't want to, and she likes the way she lives, and she's happy with that. She gets criticized, she gets picked on, and she knows that's part of it. That comes with it. Like, it's not nice or good, but it happens, and she's okay with that. So, like, there's stuff like that that's like people do know what to do. There's other people like this that, like, this lady legitimately thought that she was doing the right thing by eating grapes, salad, and water, and doesn't understand what the problem is. So, like, while I do have like some sympathy for that, because it's sad to see someone who's like just literally doesn't get it, but I'm like, bro, we're in 2024. Like, we have the internet, we have social media. Like, you this info, like, you can't not find the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to like really try hard to avoid information on this shit. So, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. That's a tough one.
I am so grateful that my personal body politics have shifted into fat liberation as opposed to like body positivity and body neutrality, especially over the.
I don't know what the difference is. What the fuck is there a difference between what? Is that what I was talking about? That body positivity is actually body positivity and fat liberation is. All right. Well, then I don't need to do a fucking disclaimer anymore.
Last 2 weeks where like I have just been getting massively trolled by like anonymous fat phobes. Centering fat liberation means that I don't internalize the hate comments as much because it makes the just like hilarious ableism so apparent. The thing that's frustrating is having to block and delete because I don't want other fat people to have to see these comments. Fat liberation also makes it so clear.
Isn't that like not fat liberation? Like, you're trying to liberate the fat people by making it okay to be fat. And your idea of doing that is to delete the comments so that they don't see it. It's kind of like the problem with everything else.
The issue has like absolutely nothing to do with me and my body and who I am as a person. It 100% has to do with other people and their bigotry.
That's the part that drives me fucking nuts. Like, fat phobic or homophobic or whatever phobic. Like, did people like forget what phobia is? Like, a phobia means you're like scared of things. Like, arachnophobia means you're like terrified of spiders. Okay, like, maybe there's people that have fat phobia that are maybe there. I don't know, but maybe there are people that are legitimately scared of fat people. But people have turned this into like if you don't agree with a certain thing, then you're whatever phobic. It means you're afraid. Like, no, bro, like, just because I don't want to be overweight and just because I help other people who don't want to be overweight does not mean that we're scared of fat people. Like, give me a fucking break, dude.
I got a perfect body. Sometimes I forget. I got a perfect body. 'Cause my eyelashes catch my sweat. Yes, they do. They do. I got a perfect body. But sometimes I forget. I got a perfect body. 'Cause my eyelashes catch my sweat. Yes, they do.
Because my eyelashes catch my sweat. Dude, I don't like there's shit like this that I'm like, is this a real person? Like, is this like are they like this, or is this some fucking internet comedy shit, dude? Because holy fuck. Like, I mean, I think about that sometimes, like when I watch a movie or a show and there's someone who's just like overweight. They're not attractive in the face aside from the weight. Like they're just a fucking fat, ugly person. We'll just say it how it is. But they're a Hollywood actor. And so it makes me wonder, like, how are you that person that's like, you know what? I'm just bleh, but that's normal for a lot of shit. So I bet I could be in Hollywood. Like, you know, and these people have made careers out of that. So that, like, that is a thing that you can do. So, like, I don't know if this fucking person is like just doing some weird shit for views or what the fuck, dude. But like, what the fuck is all of that?
Things I hate as a fat person. Number one has to be those little, like, connected chairs at schools. Hello? So many straight-sized people complain about them, too, so.
Did you rewind this?
So many straight-sized people complain about them, too, so.
Straight-sized people. She said straight-sized people. And I always got the crazy eyes. What the fuck? What the fuck does straight size? So on the subject of straight-sized people, let's talk about that for a minute. When I was growing up in like the late 90s or early 2000s, like the stereotype of gay dudes were fucking ripped. Like there anybody that was like, oh, he's gay. Like that was a stereotype. Like that was the joke. That was the fucking joke back then was that the gay dudes were always fucking jacked and ripped and shit. So like straight-sized people like that, if you're gonna call it that, that seems backwards in my experience. But what the fuck, dude? Straight-sized people. Words that don't fucking mean shit anymore. Holy fuck.
Number two is glasses, because, okay, the frames are never, like, wide enough, and they're always, like, splaying out little arms.
That happens to
Number
me
three
too.
is shopping at the grocery store.
Homie, my glasses dig into my head as well. Like I'm not fat. Like they make different size shit, bro. You just got a big head. That doesn't mean, I mean, you got a fat head too, but like, just get bigger fucking glasses.
I just feel like all fat people, when they're going to the grocery store, are just like, people are looking at you and judging you, no matter what you get. If you get fruits and veggies, you're on a diet.
Dude, like, so, on that part, so not so much where I live now, but like the town that I grew up in was a pretty small town, like 85,000 people. And so when everybody in that town knew me as like the trainer, right? And so I would like run into people at the grocery store and I'd just be getting whatever shit. And it wouldn't even be like clients, just anybody that knew who I was. And I'd run into these people at the grocery store and they would just start justifying to me everything that's in their cart. Like I didn't say anything. Like, well, I got this because of the, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, man? So like that's on you, man. Like, and if you, on that note, like, this is a thing that drives me fucking crazy is people that think that people are judging them all the time. Like, have you met people? They don't pay attention to shit ever. Like, I go to the grocery store all the time and people are just standing in the fucking way because they don't understand there's anybody else around. Like, people are not judging you. They don't even fucking know you're there. Like, you're giving people way too much fucking credit if they think everybody's judging you. That's on you, dude.
If you don't, then that's why you're fat. And fourth is concert seating, because, oh my god, they are the narrowest things. They are, like, narrower than plane seats. They're, like, literally, and they're always, like, at, like, the highest peak. Like, it's, like, almost a 90-degree angle of walk.
Yeah, man, that shit sucks, too. Like, for me, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a hard time fitting in fucking seats. I don't like sitting next to people like this and shit, but, like, that comes the territory with being a big dude, whether it's muscle or being fat. So like, yeah, man, like that's the way it is. If you don't like it, change it. Like, what the fuck you know what I'm saying? Like, so on that now, what's the option there? You want to have a fat section where there's just this area over here where there's just bigger seats? Like, I'm sure people be fucking pissed about that. You know what I'm saying? You want everybody's fucking seats bigger? Because, okay, we'll just gut everything. the bigger the seats are, the less seats that there are, the less money this shit's going to be, which means they're going to have to charge more for everything. Then you're going to explain or complain about the fat tax, probably shit like that. So bro, like, it is the way it is. Stop trying to make the world adjust to you. Fuck.
Waking up to sit there, it's like, are you wanting people to fall down? This is like actively discriminatory.
That's the worst one. She said straight size people. All right, well, that was fucking frustrating. But hopefully that was fun. Hopefully you guys got some good information and entertainment out of that one. Again, if you have or come across some fat liberation TikToks you want me to react to, send them in the DMs, and we'll see you next time.